Hello, BookTube. I've got a fun tag for you today. This is the quarter year crisis tag. Now, I haven't done like a quarter check in tag thing ever before, so this is very exciting for me because I've always seen these and I've always wanted to do it. But yeah, this was created by Roisin at Roisin's Reading, and I've been tagged by a couple other booktubers, so I thought it's time to do it. It's a sign, and so let's get started. So, number one, how many books have you read so far this year? And now, when I've got a preference, is because I read a lot. Reading is like literally my only hobby. I can audiobook at work, which helps a lot. I literally read all the time, except for doing booktube and talking to my friends like an hour every day. So when I say I've read 145 books so far this year, it's not average for me. I've done a lot just because I've been doing so many TBRs and all that. Like I've been doing Heya time, which is an extra 2 books a week for Heya. I read all of the Wimpy Kid books in a month with a best friend. Reading Amy's favorite books too. That's its whole thing. There's a couple other stuff, but and also doing Shakespeare. All of Shakespeare's plays with Josh. Again, there's just been so much more stuff, community stuff that I've been reading. So that's why it's kind of a bit more numbers than normal, really. So yeah, 145 books this year so far. Will I hit 200? Probably. Number two. Have you already found a book you think might be a 2026 favorite? If not, what was your favorite book that you read that wasn't quite a 5 star? Now I've got a list here. I'm gonna stick to new to me books because if I included rereads, um, it would be endless here. Literally, it'll just be Shakespeare and Thomas Harris. But let's talk about some of them. Buried Beneath the Sky by Peter Zuckerman and Amanda Padden, I think it is. It's about K2, the K2 disaster. My favorite book about K2. Everyone talks about not the third pole. I can't remember what it was, but Buried Beneath the Sky is my favorite book about the K2 and all that stuff. So I love that one. Probably one of my favorite nonfiction books so far. Unsinkable by Daniel Allen Butler, a great nonfiction book about Titanic that I haven't gotten to yet. Love Lucy by Lucille Ball. I love Lucy, and this was just an iconically legendary memoir in my opinion. Farthest North by Friedrich Nansen. This was Amy's one of her favorite books, so I picked it up for her and absolutely fell in love with it. Then Dickens by Claire Tomalin. What do I say? I don't need Dickens' fiction, but give me a solid biography and I'm hooked. It's like crack to me. Then there was recently The Shootist by Glendon Short. I can't say it. I've watched the John Wayne movie and I was like, oh my god, I'm going to go back to watch the book and instantly loved it. So that was a new favorite. And then recently Koala by Danielle Clode, Clode, one of my favorite new animal nonfiction books. She has I can't remember what a book about the echidna coming out in May, and I can't tell you how excited I am for that. So there's some couple new favorites. Again, notice how the majority of them are nonfiction. I just realized that. So yeah, that's some um new favorites. In terms of like close to being on that early list, Mockingjay and Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins. I read the Hunger Games books for the first time. If Mockingjay was like half its length, I would have been up there with Hunger Games, but they didn't really make the list. And Gone with the Wind actually didn't make my favorites. I think I was so swept away in my first reading experience. And the more I think about it now, I'm like, oh, there was a bit of the pacing and some of the stuff like that just didn't stick with me as much. But I still really love Gone with the Wind. I need more time with it, to be honest. And then a book that was close, that wasn't close enough to make the list, was Pride and Prejudice. This was, I'm cheating because this is a bit of a reread, but I have always been battling with Pride and Prejudice because I've never loved it. It is my second least favorite Austen behind Sense and Sensibility. I would take any other Austen novel over Pride and Prejudice except Sense and Sensibility. I'm so excited to do Mansfield Park next month with Mama Needs to Read, Romance No Jane Austen Book Club. I'm so pumped. But I just hate Mr. Darcy and I can't get over it. I would fight that man if I saw him in real life. And yeah, it's just not a favorite and I need to just think about it more. So yeah, next question. Any 1 star books or least favorite books of the year? And so there's again there's more here. Um, we've got some wimpy kid books at the very bottom. For me, The Meltdown, Big Shot, Hot Mess, and Party Pooper were pretty bad, even for the rot that kind of becomes wimpy kid post the long haul. So they're there. BK Borison, I didn't really like her book so far, and I was really upset by that. The well, I can't remember the names of them, but the new one she released, and then the one that came, the Heart, some I can't remember. But yeah, BK Borison. I'm kind of waiting for a book from her that I like, so I'm always just keeping up with her. The Night We Met and Say You Remember Me by Abby Jimenez. I love that first trilogy she done, and these two books just haven't matched up, and I'm still kind of hurt by that. What else do I have here? I've got The Becoming by Nora Roberts. I read this literally last night, or audiobooked it for work, and this is Nora doing like fantasy, nearly like portal romantasy dragons with magic spelt with a K, and it's not working. If this was cut down to 350 pages instead of over 500, I would be fine with it, but I'm like, Nora, I'm scared for the last book that I'm going to do tonight, so we'll see how we go. But yeah, The Becoming, I kind of liked The Awakening. It wasn't the best, but compared, the rot started kicking in with The Becoming for me, so we'll see how we go tonight. What else? I've got probably my least favorite new release this year's Harvey Says by Jeanette McCurdy. No one likes it. At least I didn't. I've talked about it before. And then a favorite author who made this list, and this one hurts, but I'm putting it on this list. I don't want to seem biased towards this author, but it's Georgette Heyer. I absolutely have never liked or even enjoyed Devil's Cub at all. Like literally, I would take any other Heyer. So I would rather read her contemporary romances than go back to Devil's Cub. I don't know how it's kind of become a fan favorite. It just does nothing for me. It's not romantic at all. So, and the fact it's in this like same family saga as Regency Buck and I can't remember some of the other ones. These Old Shades too, and like in Infamous Army. I'm just like, oh my god, like this really stands out in terms of really it's so tiny compared to how great those other books are. So Devil's Cub as a reread is very much on this list too, same way Pride and Prejudice is. And then next question, most read genre so far, and I've got this down here. So my most read genre so far is romance. I've done 66 romance books this year so far, 32 just general historical, and then I split fiction to non-fiction. So I've done 133 non-fiction and then 14 non-fiction books. I've always read more fiction, but I want my non-fiction to be more, and I've always tried to push it. And then I look at my numbers, so I'm like, oh my god, I haven't read a non-fiction book in a while, and I'm like, I need to catch up. And because I've always just loved non-fiction better than fiction, I'm one of those people. I like my favorite type of book is a biography, even though I barely read them. But when I do, I just fall in love with them. But yeah, that's my stats so far. A book that surprised you. Louis L'Amour, actually. I read A Man Called Noon because Amy said to read it, and I absolutely fell in love with it. I am so desperate to read more Louis L'Amour. I need to do some more digging onto him. But also, a real surprise was the Mothman in Love series. I went through by page, I can't say it, Lavoie, and I'm like, am I going through a Mothman phase of paranormal romance? Because there isn't that many Mothman books in general. There's a couple, but the Mothman in Love series just kind of worked for me. This like social media girly goes on like a social media detox into like a cabin in the woods. Little did she know there's a big, tall, hunky, intimidatingly hot Mothman, and I was swooped away, and I really enjoyed it. And so yeah, that was very much a surprise for me, and I really enjoyed it. All three of them. Um, books that's come out in 2026 already that you want to read but haven't yet. There's a couple here. I've got two. I've got Lost by Rachel Hardigan, which is a book about Amelia Earhart. It came out like a month ago. I haven't gone to it yet. I have an older Amelia biography that I want to do before I get to this one, because this one's more focused on just her disappearance. I've always just wanted a full biography of Amelia before I go into that. And also, I want to do the Dream Harbor series by Laurie Gilmore, because there's a new book coming out next month. And I've only read the Pumpkin Spice one, and then I think that's the only one I've read. So I need to catch up on the 5 so far. Even the Christmas one I'll do in April, why not? So I want to do that. And then in terms of some series, these aren't new ones, these are just what I want to do. The Queens of Renfield by Sarah Beth Durst. I love Sarah, but I haven't gone to that series yet. And then the Smythe and Smith Quartet series by Julie Quinn, a Bridgerton spin-off series. Again, these aren't new, but I'll talk about some new releases. But so those are some the main stuff I want to do in terms of because I don't think there's a question about like upcoming releases. So I'll read you some of my ones, because there's like 12 or 13 here. This isn't everything, but yesterday I finally wrote down all the like new releases that I want to do. Finally, I know we're in April, but like I finally done it. So I want to do John of John by Douglas Stewart, of course. I love his first 2 books, so I'm manifesting he can pull off the 3rd book. The Final Target, again, Nora Roberts, a standalone thriller. Take my money. The Unicorn Hunters by Kathleen Arden. The Sea Hides Its Dead by Megan Bontrager. The Tapestry of Fate by Shannon Chakraborty. I love that one so much. The Shippers by Kathleen Center. Fever Dream by Elise Silver. I've never liked Elise Silver, but I will keep up with new releases, because why not? A Perfect Story by Carly Fortune. The Daisy Chain Flower Shop, of course, that's the Dream Harbor series. Navy Captain's Convenient Wife by Caroline Kelly. Rescued by Rakish Lord, Sarah Mallory, and then The Enigmatic Echidna by Danielle Code, which I talked about before. That comes out on the 5th of May. So I'm looking forward to those. Just some new releases, if you're wondering what I'm going to keep up with. Again, it's weirdly just romance, and I don't know why, but so yeah. Let's go to the next question now, which is one goal you made that you're succeeding at. I don't have really any reading goals. So I don't have any for that. Next one goal you made you need to focus on. Maybe just reading more non-fiction, really. That's more of a general one, but I don't have reading goals. I've never been that type of person. And then the last question, new to you booktubers / bookstagrammers and booktokers for 2026 you recommend. Now I've got 5 here. There's so many more, but JJ the Bookworm Blacksmith, you know her, go check her out. She's a diva, we love her. Micah Bibliophile Bookscape, of course. Alex at Alex's Archives, Caden Conley, of course, and Derek Green. They're all new within the last year or so, and they're so fun and so worth your time checking out. And yeah, that is the quarter year crisis tag. Let me know what you think about the books I've mentioned today. And yeah, thank you so much for watching BookTube, and I will see you next time.